Okay, the purpose of today's video is to give a high-level explanation of the Epicor integration into Lizzy. The first thing you would need to do is select New Service Ticket. Next, you would locate a contact. We're going to locate Tiger Woods. And now that we have the new service screen up, the first thing you're going to want to do is add a unit, and this would basically be the vehicle that you're going to be doing the work on. Now, for Tiger, we already have some vehicles in the system. We're going to use his Corvette, so we're going to select that. As you can see, it's put the year, make, and model of the vehicle along with the VIN and the engine type in the selection screen. This is grabbed and saved and will be exported to Epicor so that you don't have to type it or enter it yourself. At this point, you would just click on the little car here. That brings up the login to Epicor screen. You will have login credentials that will already be input into Lizzy in another area, so you will not have to do anything at this point other than click the login button. That takes you to Epicor's job building screen. You will see that the vehicle information is already listed at the top along with the VIN number and the customer's name. And then basically they've set up a nice quick menu here of all the component systems of a car. Now you can click more than one of these if you want. For the sake of this, we're just going to do a water pump replacement, and that falls in the cooling area, so we're going to choose cooling. And then you see a screen that comes up for custom jobs, and these are all related to the cooling system of a vehicle. And as I said, we're going to do a water pump, so we're going to select water pump here at the bottom. Now at this point, we could just click next and move on. However, because I selected a component, the Epicor system brings up a related job screen. So because I selected water pump, these are all issues that are related to a water pump replacement. And while we have this car, we're going to go ahead and do a thermostat replacement. So I can select that here and then click next. Now what's happening is Epicor system is building a nice navigating page that strips out everything except for the component areas that I chose. So what it's going to show me now is parts and labor that are related to the jobs that I just selected, and only those. So the first thing to notice is you have a supplier option here. We're going to leave this with the stock MKT, but you see you have other options here: AutoZone, O'Reilly, SQA, so forth. In the availability column, you have several different icons: red, green, yellow. Red means it's just not available. The green means that it is available. And if you see down here, for instance, where there's this yellow one, this means that they might be getting really low, so you might have to contact your local supplier to see if they have one in stock from where you're coming from. For now, we're going to choose a remanufactured water pump since it's green and available, so we'll select it. As you can see, they give you a description of the part, the manufacturer, the part number itself, the years that it fits, and also the list, cost, and sell, and even the available quantity at the supplier. We're also going to need a gasket, so we're going to select that. They give you an other parts section, and this is where the system would assume that because you're doing a certain job, if you need anything like a certain fluid or tool, this would be where you could put it in. For instance, if you don't have the coolant laying around in the shop that's going to be needed for this job, you could maybe add that here and have some brought over. The information area of the screen also tells you the type of coolant that's typically needed for this job, and also the amount that might be needed for this type of job. And it also includes the labor right here, and it tags it onto the same bottom of the section so that you can keep up with it in an easy to follow way. We know that this is a Grand Sport, so we're going to go ahead and select this. As you can see, it gives you the technician skill level expected, the flat rate time from the books, and then a rate per hour. Now this is something that you can edit in a configurations page, so you're not locked into whatever number is here. We scroll down even further to the next part of the job, and that's the thermostat. And as you can see, it groups everything together again. So we have our thermostat, we have a gasket, and then we also have our labor. Now at this part, if you were done with this vehicle and you know you're not going to do anything else with it, you could just hit transfer and exit, and it will take you back to Lizzy with everything that you've got so far. However, if Tiger mentions he wants a tire rotation or an additional part, or if you want to add some additional labor for something, you could click add and return to quote and use the jobs, parts, or labor tab to add those items. Now this is the built quote. If Tiger is just wanting to get a quote for this and maybe come back next week and schedule this work for a later time, you could actually print this as it is and hand it to them. It has all of your parts, all of your information, and all of your labor broken out, including totals. If you know for a fact that you are done with this and you want to go ahead and pursue getting this work done, you can click Finalize here, and you will get a message saying that the update's been successfully done. It's been locked in place, and basically we're going to go back to Lizzy now. So we're going to click OK. Now we're back to Lizzy, so you can close the login screen. Basically, you want to refresh the invoice that we're on, so you're going to hit View Current Invoice. And now you see there's your vehicle information as before, and it's now added the job items that we added on the Epicor screen. It breaks them out in individual line items, your water pump job, your thermostat job. You can actually stretch those out and see more information, and these are from your Lizzy settings. If you have a special labor cost, if you have shop materials, EPA fees, that's all based on what your Lizzy settings are. They will be put into this point. If you scroll down a little further, you can schedule your service tech at this point as well using the tech calendar. It also pulls the service required from the Epicor system, so that if your tech needs a reminder as to what exactly is expected to be done on this particular item, you can read the required here, service required area, and it puts that in specifically. The additional parts that are needed for this, the water pump and the water pump gasket, if you want to break those down even further, you can see information if it's an inventory item, if it's taxable, who did it, when they did it, cost information, stuff of that nature. The part numbers are actually hot links as well, so that if you click one of these and you need a better description of what the part is, this tells you where it's coming from, how much it costs, the list price, the actual item number, things of that nature are located here. If you're done with this, you can then look at the next job if you want. You can make any changes you need to it here. As you can see, same thing as before, thermostat gasket. Basically at this point, the ticket would be finished up and worked on as you would any other service ticket, and then once you're done, it would be rang up and cashed out. And that's the end of the integration overlook of Epicor into Lizzy.